Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham dhammang sangham namasami. Dear friends, welcome back to the continuation of this Uposatha Daylong program. This is the fourth out of 6 Daylong programs that we are offering during our winter retreat. And this is the new moon Uposatha day. And it's also a special commemoration for us, recollecting the 7-day commemoration of the life of Fra Ajahn Nandayani of the Narodharam Meditation Center in Chiang Mai, Thailand. She was one of our most accomplished bhikkhunis in modern times and just passed away 7 days ago on the 23rd of February. So we dedicate the merits of our practice to our in gratitude to Ajahn Nandayani for her life. Another thought that we're holding in particular, which is timely, is being aware that there's some troubles going on out in the world. It gives an extra note of urgency to our metta and karuna, compassionate practice, thinking that there are beings in the world who are in grave danger, beings who have fallen into a lot of delusion, who are undertaking very evil, unwholesome acts of body, speech, and mind, who are in danger of going to many eons in a world of woe, in a woeful state. And then even those people who are basically good have got a risk right now, if they might get swept up in the war fever, that they could lose their virtue and lose the mental clarity or the kindness, whatever is virtuous that they have, and get falling into some negative, harmful, destructive states of mind, with destructive speech and destructive actions. So maybe one of the blessings that we have for today that's especially suitable, it's the one that goes dukkha patta chanin dukkha bhaya patta chanim bhaya soka patta chanis soka hontu sambe vipanino. May those who are on the path of suffering, may they be free from suffering. Those on the path of fear, may they become free from fear. And may those on the path of sorrow, may they become free from sorrow. And so too may all beings be. So we bring out this wish going everywhere to ward off the dangers that could fall to anybody. This 2 o'clock session is dedicated to meditation and some guided meditation. And I wanted to reflect on those practices that we can rely on and think about what is the most fundamental practice in meditation. It seems to me that in the sutta, it's said that a person may develop a right view, fix up their morality, practice radiating loving kindness and the other Brahma Viharas without any limitations in all of the 8 directions, cultivating that boundless heart. And then, based on that, they can temporarily be in a kind of a heavenly state, as long as their morality is pure, their minds are pure, and that mind and heart is filled with those thoughts of kindness and compassion. It's kind of like being in heaven. And a person who's practicing like that could be, it's said they could be reborn in a heavenly realm and enjoy happiness and bliss for many eons. They have a basic kind of a safety, but it's not a total safety, because without a deeper foundation in wisdom, they could fall out of that state of kindness. They could lose the hold of their heedfulness, their mindfulness, so they could have a slip on their virtue. And as a result of that, they could even fall into a woeful state. I often realize how my existence right now is relatively protected and comfortable. Besides having a human body and getting old, I don't have very many problems and stressful things to disturb this heart. But what if I was thrown into a situation of extreme stress? If I was captured by terrorists, thrown into prison, tortured, losing everything, being hungry, being in a much more serious pain than right now, would this mind and this heart still be able to keep the level of equanimity and still keep the heart pure from hatred, or would it fall down? And this is where meditation comes along. In the sutta that speaks about that development of right view, virtue, and then Brahma Viharas, the heavenly meditations. The next step on that particular sequence is they abandon the 5 hindrances and enter samadhi. And then based on samadhi, the mind is purified and malleable like pure gold, that one can do anything one wants with it. And it's at that stage that there's an opportunity to see and know reality as it really is. So it seems to me that this abandoning of the hindrances and abandoning of the unwholesome states of mind is actually the fundamental purpose of meditation. Once again, you could say, oh, I know that, I've known that for 5, 10, 20, 30 years, as long as I've been practicing meditation. The first time I ever took a retreat, they mentioned the 5 hindrances. But the practice is deep in the sense that if a person thinks about meditation in terms of gaining something, in terms of getting something, or achieving something, then there's a danger of taking a wrong turn. For example, if you experience wonderful states of calm and bliss during meditation, and you think that this is the accomplishment, the purpose of the meditation, then one could develop a wrong kind of desire for those blissful pleasure states in meditation, and that could lead you up a blind alley that could cause a delay in your going towards the goal. Or if one is thinking about using a willpower to just keep the mind on the breath or some other chosen object of meditation, and having a kind of like a contest of will, trying to see, can I go for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 60 minutes, 2 hours, 3 hours of keeping awareness focused on this one object, and then I've accomplished something to be proud of. And that also sort of doesn't quite get to the point. But both of those practices, making the effort to stay on an object of meditation, or noticing the blissful, pleasant feelings that could arise during meditation, or noticing the sensation of light that can arise during meditation, these experiences can help to temporarily block off the hindrances and the negative or destructive states of mind from arising. So it's because of these experiences that we have a chance to have a break. It could be that an ordinary, uninformed person who's not trained in the Dhamma and hasn't developed themselves could go for years or lifetime being even like most of the time on a roller coaster of pleasure and pain, or on a roller coaster of wanting this or disliking that, going back and forth, round and round. And then through meditation and developing mindfulness, we may notice that these negative, painful or afflictive states of mind are not a solid mass, that actually there's a lot of moments, say neutral moments, that have that freedom, where hatred or desire are not actually present, not dominating at those moments. And you start to then notice that. And then with the development of a bit of improvement in one's mindful awareness or one's concentration, developing some of the wholesome factors and learning how to frame one's perception to notice the wholesome factors. Again, these are providing windows of like spaces where the afflictive states of mind are not present. It's like these gaps in the hindrances, you could call them an island of sanity. Another kind of a way that I think meditation could take a wrong turn. There's a certain way that some perceptions that we've learned about in a conceptual way by listening to the Dhamma, and then in meditation we can sort of be like reflecting and talking to ourselves, making a kind of like an auto-suggestion. So if one is contemplating the different parts of the body, for example, or some other theme, and you think these are the head hairs, and visualize the hair in the head, and you know its color, its shape, its location, its boundaries, and then bring in this suggestion: this is not me, this is not mine, this is not myself. It's like, okay, you're using the words, the language as a kind of training the mind. But the catechism itself is not, it's not the result that we're seeking. The result we're seeking is a direct experience. And when the verbal or the conceptual framework is like not needed at all, because this selfless aspect of what we can experience is known directly. And then the whole bundle of the afflictions based on conceit and a self-centered approach can just be like blown away, as long as that perception of not self is there. In the study we've been doing in the Nibbana sermons, quite a lot of what's spoken about is at the level of right view, what we understand, what we know, what we cognize. But when we are simply being aware and looking out in meditation to accomplish the suppression or the temporary suspension of the hindrances or the unwholesome states of mind, those things are operating at a physical feeling level that's engaging the body and the mind together in a way that's more like it could even be understood as emotional states. So it says in the sutta, what one has a contact through any of the sense gates, what one contacts, one feels. And what one feels, one perceives. What one perceives, one thinks about. What one thinks about, one proliferates with. And this proliferation of thoughts, as long as it's being clung to, is what leads us to conflict, interpersonal conflict, hatred, and all of the social ills, culminating in actually coming to blows and inflicting violence on one another. So then, the antidote to that, I'm referring now to the Honeyball Sutta, the Madhu Pindaka Sutta, which I think is number 15 in the Middle Length Discourses. The Buddha says that whatever is arising, if you find nothing there to take delight in, to cling to adhere to, or to welcome, then by that non-clinging, then these unwholesome states don't evolve towards accumulating the perpetuation and the proliferation of suffering. So when we sit in meditation, if we have a blissful feeling and we don't cling to that, if we're in meditation and we are aware of parts of the body and we don't cling to that, if we're in meditation and we remember the phrase, "This is not me, this is not mine, this is not myself," but we don't cling to that phrase. If we're in meditation and we experience the nimitta of a experience of light, or if we experience very strong blissful feelings, and we don't cling to that. Even if we experience moments when the mindful awareness of phenomena seems to be so sharp, and it's as if we have got this powerful, bright awareness, which is noticing each and every moment as it comes along, seeing how things arise one by one, affected by causation. And we can see the arising and passing away, and we can see the operation of causation. We can see so much, even without seeing. Nevertheless, we don't cling to that. All of these are stages along the way, which is leading to an ultimate state. One of the terms for it is nippapancha, being completely free from this papancha, or this proliferation. Or another phrase is anidasana, where no formations are able to become manifest in a way that becomes attached to our mind or to our consciousness. That's the ultimate state. But there's many, many, many beautiful, wonderful, and meaningful states that we have along the way with these meditation practices. And those states can progressively help us to wipe out the habitual negativities of whether it be the five hindrances, the sensual desire, dislike or craving, restlessness and ill will, dullness and drowsiness, or skeptical doubt. There's another list I could quote. This is the negative states that's mentioned in the Madhupindaka Sutta, the Honeyball Sutta. The tendency to desire, to repulsion, to views, to doubt, to conceit, the desire to be reborn, and ignorance. So, let's take up a theme of meditation. And during this meditation, be aware when the mind is easily able to rest on the object of meditation, or when the mind loses the object, whether the mind becomes distracted or whether the mind becomes dull, or for whatever reason, and think that anytime the mind falls off of its object of meditation, it's because there's something in you that doesn't want the meditation theme. It wants to do something else. It could be that there's a restless mind that wants to do something else. It could be because actually there's a doubtful mind that is not confident that this practice is effective. It could be because the mind is sinking into dullness. It could be because you may be caught a moment of pleasant feeling, and the mind started chasing after the pleasant feeling and forgot what it was about in terms of meditation. So trying throughout the meditation, make this a preliminary determination that I'm going to try to be aware of where am I at with this meditation? Am I staying on it, or did I fall away? If I fall away, am I able to come back? And then does the mind move again? See to what extent we can just be aware of for how many moments the mind is content, satisfied, bright, willing, capable to rest in awareness on a meditation. And then what happens in those moments when the mind loses it and goes off somewhere. So let us sit for 30 minutes of meditation. Please come to an upright posture. Being aware of a balanced and upright posture. So the body is not leaning forward or backward, but just balanced on a center of gravity, resting on the seat or the cushion. Aware of the physical body within its environment. You're connected to the ground or the floor, connected to the chair, within a room, with air, a certain temperature in the room, a certain surrounding. Some could be visual objects or objects you can hear. And examining within the body the state of the body, feeling the position of the head and the arms, the belly, the seat, the legs. Aware of the touching sensations in the body. Touching the clothing or the chair. And internally, the flow of the nervous system and the flow of the blood and the organs inside the body. The heartbeat. The rise and fall of breath. Any aches and pains. And aware of the state of mind. If the mind is calm or restless, in a pleasant mood or a difficult mood. If the thoughts are speedy or slow. Taking a few minutes of wide open awareness, just noticing as much as we can about the state of this body and the mind. the body and the heart, what it's like right now. And within this awareness, introducing a phrase of compassion, using a simple phrase in words. Can be your own phrase or something like, may all beings be free from suffering. May all be free from suffering. Pronouncing the phrase clearly, feeling the shape of the words. And aware of the meaning of compassion, intending the end of dukkha for all beings, including oneself, to all as to oneself, intending the end of all suffering. And using the phrase or the thought of compassion as an anchor, returning to that again and again. May all be free from suffering. And noticing any shift in the mind or the body that's arising based on compassion. What's the feeling of compassion? See if this compassion can be kept continuously. Like breathing in compassion, breathing out compassion. The whole body and mind filled with the thought of compassion. And if the mind drifts away to something else, notice how that is. And then come back to the thought of compassion. Or if the mind is very distracted, coming back to establishing one's posture and developing the awareness of the body from head to toe, the sensations in the body, the state of mind, developing that opening awareness. And then introducing again a phrase of compassion. May all be free from suffering. And if the thought of compassion is stabilized, then imagine letting that thought go out in all directions to touch all beings without any limitations or any restrictions. May all of them be freed from all suffering. May all be free from suffering in every direction, above, below, and all around, near and far, seen and unseen. Including oneself as for others, including the others as for oneself, pervading the whole world with this noble intention of compassion, intending for suffering to come to an end. Noticing the thought of compassion, aware of the feeling of compassion. Having the mind and the heart united together in this good intention for the end of suffering for all beings. And then gently coming out of meditation and returning to the ordinary state of mind. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be. Dukkha pata chaniddukkha, bhaya pata chanibhaya, soka pata chanisoka, hontu sabbe pipanino.